My name is Rich Crombie. I am the Public Information Officer for the Nevada Veterans Coalition, and I'm going to be your MC for this wonderful ceremony that we are about to partake in, to honor, respect, and remember our fallen servicemen and women who are not only laid to rest here in these hallowed grounds, but who are also laid to rest in every veteran cemetery across this great nation. From Arlington to Fernley, tens of thousands of patriots like you who love their country and support their military are gathered in similar fashion to pay tribute to those who have served and have now perished. Today's ceremony is hosted by the Nevada Department of Veterans Services, led by Colonel Mary Devine, who is in Las Vegas this morning at their ceremony, to whom we owe a debt of thanks for all they do to serve our veterans daily across the state of Nevada. On behalf of the Nevada Veterans Coalition, who is coordinating this event, I want to thank you so very much, you folks out here, for taking time to come out this weekend, out of your day, to come and be here in this day of remembrance. I especially want to thank you parents who brought your kids here today so they can learn and understand the meaning of duty, honor, sacrifice, and country. You know, I can often be heard saying, and it really isn't much of a secret, but somehow still needs to be said in this day and age, as Memorial Day seems to have sadly kind of gotten lost over commercialism, and the true meaning is kind of more of a side note now. Well, despite what you might see and hear on TV, radio, newspaper, and I do love our press, so thank you for being here, but Memorial Day, you know, it's not about a barbecue. The beginning of summer, it's not a mattress sale, a deal on furniture, or the best time to buy a car. You folks know what it means, right? That's why you're here. I love this country, and I know you do too. Am I right? Keep that going. Can you let me know who here loves the United States of America? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a special treat. This young lady that I'm about to introduce to you performs one of the most inspiring renditions of our national anthem as I have ever heard. She was at the Vietnam Veterans Remembrance event a couple of months ago at TMCC, and I said, boy, you have to come out to Fernley. So please rise, remove your caps. Veterans, you may render a hand salute as we welcome Miss Kimberly Dixon to the microphone with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, Miss Kimberly Dixon, holy cow, beautiful, beautiful, bravo. Can you do that again? That was awesome, wow. Well, how many of you remember way back, you know, that morning ritual we used to do in schools when we all stood facing that American flag in our classrooms, our hands over our hearts, looking up at the stars and stripes. Remember those days? Man. Well, at this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Mayor Neil McIntyre of the City of Fernley, who is going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Thank you so much, Mayor McIntyre, and thank you to the City of Fernley for being so welcoming to those who come to visit this cemetery. Now, I would like to call upon one of our chaplains of the Nevada Veterans Coalition, U.S. Army veteran Fred Wilson, who will lead us with our opening invocation.
Thank you, Richard. Please bow your heads as we ask for God's blessing this day. Dear Heavenly Father, it is with somber hearts that we come before you this day. We pause for a moment to remember all of the men and women who have given much of themselves while in the service of our country. Today we stand here in a field of heroes. Dear God, please look with mercy on our brave and selfless brothers and sisters who did not shirk from their task, but gave themselves completely to the cause of defending our freedom. Bless all who gave their lives for the sake of liberty, and grant them an eternal rest with you. We remember our brave men and women now serving in our armed forces both here at home and abroad. We ask that you watch over and protect our nation's peacekeepers as they strive to bring peace and mercy to this troubled world. Bring them safely home to their families and loved ones. We also ask for a special blessing on our Gold Star families and their sons and daughters who have made the ultimate sacrifice for this great country. All of this we ask in your blessed name. Amen and amen.
Thank you so much, Fred. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming members of the Nevada Veterans Coalition, Bill Smith and Gary Younts. They will be placing the memorial wreath at the POW monument. Bill is the longest serving member of the Nevada Veterans Coalition, and Gary is our newest member. We now have something very special as part of our ceremony today to honor the departed men and women who valiantly served their country. If you've been here before, you will recognize this incredible event. And what I want to do now is introduce the Truckee Meadows Veterans Club of TMCC, who is partnering with the University of Nevada, Reno, to execute Operation Battleborn, Ruck to Remember 2024, to honor the fallen heroes from the global war on terrorism. I'm going to ask that our Patriot Guard, well, you guys came up. All right, that's great. They were anxious to get here, so let me just tell you, over the past 4 days, veterans and volunteers from across the state took turns carrying 2 rucksacks that share nearly 7,000 service member dog tags to include the 57 fallen Nevadans who have made the ultimate sacrifice since September 11th. In their honor, they marched from the East Side Memorial Park in Minden, Nevada, where the traveling Vietnam Wall is located this weekend, to right here at the Northern Nevada Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Fernley. Participants were asked to challenge themselves physically and mentally, facing the heat and the weight of the fallen heroes on their backs. Give them a big round of applause. They are here on the plaza And just as they never wavered in their service to our country, we cannot waver in our recognition of their sacrifice. The mission, which was led by Felipe Gutierrez, is now completed. And I would like to invite Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony front and center to officially receive these dog tags on behalf of the grateful citizens of Nevada. Give him a big round of applause. Felipe and his dedicated team for accomplishing such an important mission. I told you folks, this is a ceremony we want you to tell your friends and family about and let your children learn from. You know, there's so many people, organizations, special guests, dignitaries who are here with us today who all share one common thought, share one common ground, setting aside all the political differences, opinions, agendas, to come together as one under God, under this great flag, to pay homage to those who served and are laid to rest here for all of eternity. Some of those special guests here today who are joining us in our VIP tent: Lieutenant Colonel Tony Grady, United States Air Force retired. Senator Lisa Krasner is here with us. Mr. and Mrs. George Malone, both retired colonels. Jim Chablis and the Patriot Guard. Round of applause for those folks right there. They will ride in any kind of weather to form their flag line in honor of the fallen. So, Jim, you can go ahead and dismiss your group. Give them a round of applause. The Patriot Guard, really a great organization. Thank you, guys. Our Deputy Director of the Nevada Department of Veterans Services, Lisa Mitchell, is here. Thank you, guys. Members of the Fernley City Council are here. Carson City Sheriff Kenny Furlong. Lyon County Sheriff Brad Pope is here as well. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, because you didn't RSVP and I didn't get to write your name down. But thank you guys for coming out. I see some of my friends here from the Blue Star Moms who do such wonderful work to keep our troops stationed here and abroad connected with their families and their homes. Thank you, Blue Star Moms, for everything you guys do. I specifically want to welcome and recognize the Gold Star families who are here with us today, who, like me, as a Gold Star father, I told myself I wasn't going to do that. But I truly understand the meaning of losing a loved one who perished while serving in the armed forces. You are not alone. Your sacrifice is one that you pay dearly for the rest of your life, every single day. We are humbled to be in your presence today. Some of the unsung heroes who will be here long after this ceremony is over and who will be here day in and day out at this cemetery are, of course, the staff and the advisory board for the Northern Nevada Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Gabe Velasquez, I think you're sitting over there somewhere. I saw you. There he is. And his crew do such an amazing job of keeping these grounds clean, trimmed, maintained, and beautiful. Thank you so much for all you do. We were here at 7 a.m., staff of 3 from the cemetery, putting this all together. Amazing. I want to thank the North Lyon County Fire Protection District for not only keeping us safe here, as they do each and every day, but for proudly displaying Old Glory so distinctly at the entrance to this cemetery. We're also very honored to have with us today U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen, who was one of the first to send in her RSVP to be with us to honor our fallen veterans, and she asked for an opportunity to share some of her thoughts on this occasion, to which we are more than happy to oblige. So, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Jackie Rosen.
Well, thank you for the introduction. And thank you all for being out here today, to the Nevada Veterans Coalition, for putting together this event, this day, to honor these men and women who gave their last full measure. I want to recognize Lieutenant Governor Anthony Stavros and, of course, Mayor McIntyre also for being here with us today, and Felipe Gutierrez, Operation Battleborn. Your dedication in completing the Ruck to Remember, it matters. It matters that they walked, that they thought about it, that they carried those dog tags, that they make sure that we don't forget the fallen heroes of the global war on terrorism, especially those we've lost in Nevada. And like I said, I want to thank you all for coming together here today to honor the sacrifice of the men and women who gave their last full measure. And this day is a solemn day. It's a day to reflect. It's a chance to come together to think about those who bravely gave their lives, who are heroes. We're heroes to keep our country safe. And we know that we can never repay the debt. We know that we can never fill the hole in the hearts of the families. We all know that. That's why we're here. And it's because of their service and their selflessness that we remain free today, and we must honor their memories year after year, day in and day out, and not forget. I want to honor the families who've lost their loved ones. When someone makes the decision to serve, they don't serve alone. Their families serve alongside of them. And when someone loses a family member in the course of their service, that family carries an unimaginable hole and a pain forever. And so to all of the Gold Star families that are here today, across our nation, we recognize you, we hear you. We are thankful for your service and for your sacrifice, and we grieve along with you. The pain of losing a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, a sibling is so profound, and we carry that with us. And I have the distinct honor, truly an honor, to represent hundreds of thousands of veterans, servicemen, and military families in the Senate. And one thing that I promise to do, and that I do, is I take the stories that I hear from each and every one of you as I go around. I take those stories with me. And those stories inform my decisions about what I do every day and the work I do and how I approach that work and how I approach my service and how I can honor the debt that we owe every service member and their family here. And as a daughter of a World War II veteran, all my uncles, my other grandfathers, my father-in-law, they all served. It's really important to me. And so today and every day, we should really think and reflect and give thanks to our active duty military, to our veterans, to the ones who've lost their lives, and to the Gold Star families, to let everyone know that you have our back and we have yours. We have yours. And that we can't forget your pain. And so today, we are here to stand with you heart to heart, and to honor all of you. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. May God bless all of us here in the great state of Nevada. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to publicly apologize and let you know that I've made a grave mistake because my eyesight is not as good as I thought. When I turned around to check if a certain gentleman was here, of course he's here all the time. And so I was remiss, but I also want to thank and let you know we are more than honored to have Congressman Mark Amodei here with us as well. We definitely appreciate that, and I will not make that mistake again, provided that I'm given this job again. Can I be on your staff, Congressman? Anyway. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce a man whom I've had the pleasure to not only meet, but hear speak on a number of occasions. His patriotism and statesmanship more than exemplify the persona of our keynote speaker. Please welcome to the podium the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of the State of Nevada, Stavros Anthony.
What a great turnout. Thank you all for being out here this morning. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you today, where we gather to remember, to honor, and to pay tribute to the brave men and women who have given their lives in the service of our great nation. On this Memorial Day, we come together as a community to reflect on the sacrifices made by our veterans, to acknowledge the profound debt we owe them, and to affirm our commitment to the values that they fought to protect. I'd like to recognize the veterans and advocates behind Operation Battleborn, Ruck to Remember. It's sobering to know the rucksacks presented at this ceremony today contain nearly 7,000 service member dog tags, including 57 fallen Nevadans who made the ultimate sacrifice since that fated day on September 11th, 2001. The list of Nevada's fallen heroes has 895 names on it. These are warriors that made the ultimate sacrifice dating back to the Civil War, from which our great state was born, and to the more recent military responses in Iraq and Afghanistan. Northern Nevada has a proud history of military service. From the high desert valleys to the Sierra Nevada mountains, our community has always answered the call of duty with courage and dedication. Today we honor those who have fallen in defense of our freedoms, and we extend our deepest gratitude to their families who have borne the weight of their loss with strength and resilience. Memorial Day is a time of solemn remembrance, but it's also a day of profound gratitude. It is a day to remember that our freedom is not free. The liberties we enjoy today were secured by the brave and selflessness of those who stood in harm's way, often far from home and loved ones. Their legacy is etched in the fabric of our nation, and their heroism continues to inspire generations. I hope it brings comfort to know that these heroes will forever receive a sacred and reverent place in our hearts and in our history. We are fortunate to have a community that understands the importance of honoring our veterans. From the annual parades to memorial services, we come together to recognize the sacrifices made by our servicemen and women. We are reminded that our freedoms are defended not just by those on the front lines, but by a united community that values their service and cherishes their memory. Allow me to turn to the wives, husbands, parents, children, siblings, friends, fellow members, and veterans who have lost a loved one in battle. We recognize and honor you too today on this day, as you are called upon to bear a special burden. The debt we owe you is one we can never repay. There will never be a ceremony or tribute that will ease the pain of losing a loved one. But we hope today's gathering fills you with hope and the love and gratitude we have for you. We will forever honor and remember your service and sacrifice to our nation. In closing, I want to thank again for having me here today. I would ask that you not only remember those we honor today, but to keep our soldiers who are deployed defending our freedom and their families in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you, and may God bless our fallen heroes, their families, the great state of Nevada, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Anthony, for your inspiring words and being such an integral part of this ceremony. You may have noticed the Nevada Veterans Coalition rifle team marching into position where they will be firing a volley of 3 which is a time-honored tradition dating back to the Roman Empire, when soldiers at the end of the day's battle would retrieve their dead and cry their names aloud 3 times over their body in their honor. In modern times, this tradition carried on into American military conflicts such as the Civil War, where after a day's battle, time was given to retrieve the dead from the battlefield, and a ceremonious volley of 3 rifle shots were given in their honor and to signify that they were ready for battle once again. Before we give the order to fire, it is my honor to introduce a proud veteran of the United States Air Force who will lead us in a closing benediction. Mr. Ray Wilson.
When the need was great, these veterans stepped forward and did their duty to defend the freedoms that we enjoy today. Help us remember that freedom is never free. Though their names may be fade with the passage of time, may we never forget that those and what they have done. Being here today reflects the depth of our gratitude and the gratitude of our nation for the invaluable gifts these veterans have given to us. Let us pray. May the Lord our God bless us all present here today to remember those who lived and died to preserve liberty and freedom in our nation and in the world. May the Lord our God remember all those who sacrificed, gave this nation its greatness. Amen and amen.
Thank you so much, Ray. You do the Air Force proud. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have sensitive ears, you might want to cover them with your hands, especially the young ones who are here. We would like to ask everyone, if you're able to, please rise, and veterans, please render the proper hand salute when you hear the playing of taps, which will be coming from the wall, that will immediately follow the rifle volley of 3.
Rifle detail, prepare to fire 3 volleys.
Rifle detail. Tangent. Port arms. Safeties off. Half left, half right face. Ready. Aim. Aim. Fire. Aim. Half left face. Present arms. Order. Arms. Rifle detail. Port arms. Left face. Forward.
You may be seated. In closing, I do wish to thank everybody sincerely who took time out of their day to come share these moments with the fallen, to remember them, to honor them, to show them the respect they still and will always deserve. Before you leave today, I highly encourage you to go out onto the grounds, take in the atmosphere, stop at least one grave, read their name aloud, and thank them. You've heard it said once, you'll hear it again. You may not know them, but you owe them. I want to leave you all with something I wrote personally a few years ago in honor of my son, who was laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery. And to all servicemen and women who serve their country and have perished, I call it a message from the fallen. We served our country and have given her our lives, and now with our weapons at rest and our bodies at peace, all that remains is the memory of our sacrifice and the spirit of our cause, which lives on in the hearts and souls of men and women who walk this earth with the freedoms and liberties we so courageously fought to protect and preserve. Our voices are forever silent, yet our message still rings loud and true across the land and over the sea. The resolve and resilience to stand against oppression and the tyranny of evil will never wane, and America will never surrender her will to fight and remain steadfast even in the face of death. So raise a flag in honor of our great nation and remember us here on these hallowed grounds, that our call to duty was not and never will be in vain. On behalf of the Nevada Veterans Coalition, I want to thank you for coming out today.